The sun peeked through the curtains of the cozy nursery, casting a warm glow over everything inside. In the corner, a small crib stood, filled with soft blankets and a tiny baby. This was the world of Emily, a new mother who had just welcomed her first child. Her heart was full of joy and love, but she also felt overwhelmed by the many changes that came with motherhood. Every day was a new adventure for Emily as she learned to care for her little one. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and subscribe for more, and tell me where you're watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. The sleepless nights often left her feeling groggy, but the sight of her baby's gentle breaths made it all worthwhile. She spent hours rocking in a chair beside the crib, humming lullabies that floated softly through the air. But there was another member of this new family, Milo, the family cat. Milo had always been curious and playful, and now he seemed even more intrigued by the newest addition. Emily would often catch him staring at the crib with wide eyes, his ears perked up as if he were listening to something only he could hear. At first, Emily thought nothing of it. Perhaps Milo was just curious about the little bundle wrapped in blankets. She smiled at how sweet he looked, sitting vigil by the crib like an ancient guardian. In those quiet moments, she felt a bond forming between them, a silent understanding that they were both protective of this precious life. As days turned into weeks, however, she began to notice how Milo lingered longer by the crib than he used to. It was as if he sensed something in that little space that fascinated him beyond mere curiosity. Each time she watched him from afar, her heart raced with both affection and curiosity about what lay behind his focused gaze. Little did she know that soon enough she would discover just what captured Milo's attention so completely. As the days passed, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that Milo's behaviour was more than just curiosity. It began one quiet afternoon when she noticed him perched on the edge of the crib, his green eyes locked onto the baby as if he were watching a mesmerising show. The way he sat perfectly still was unlike his usual playful self. Emily had to chuckle at how serious he looked, almost like a little guardian keeping watch. Milo would often come to the nursery, drawn to the soothing sounds of her baby's gentle coos and soft breaths. Every time Emily entered the room, she found him there, his fluffy tail twitching slightly as he studied the crib intently. At first, she thought it was normal cat behaviour. After all, cats are known for their inquisitive nature. But something about the way he observed the baby made her pause. One morning, while breastfeeding and gazing down at her little one, Emily caught Milo staring once again. His ears twitched as if he were listening closely to a secret only he could hear. She set her baby down gently in the crib and approached to see what had captivated him so much. To her surprise, Milo didn't flinch or move away. He simply kept his focus on the baby with unwavering attention. "Are you being a good big brother?" she whispered playfully, scratching behind his ears. He responded with a contented purr, but his gaze never wavered. Emily felt a warm flutter in her chest. This bond between Milo and her child was growing deeper by the day. Yet, there was something peculiar about his obsession with the crib that made her curious. Why did he seem so entranced? She decided to keep a closer eye on him, feeling an itch of anticipation that something unusual was unfolding right before her eyes. What could be so fascinating about that tiny bundle beneath the blankets? As Emily continued to observe Milo's intense focus on the crib, her thoughts began to shift. She couldn't help but wonder if his behaviour was an instinctual response to the new arrival in their home. Cats are known for their strong territorial nature, and she recalled stories of pets developing protective bonds with children. It filled her with warmth to think that Milo could sense something special about her baby. In Emily's mind, she pictured him as a little guardian, watching over the fragile life that now shared their world. Each time she caught Milo perched by the crib, she thought about how magnificent it was that this playful, yet sometimes aloof cat seemed to care so deeply. His big green eyes were a mix of curiosity and vigilance, almost as if he understood the important role he played in this new family dynamic. She would often talk to him softly. "You're the bravest protector, aren't you?" Her responses would make him purr even louder, but still he remained fixed on the crib. Slowly, the bond between them deepened. He was no longer just her pet, but part of a family unit striving to protect and nurture. One afternoon, while folding tiny clothes and humming lullabies, Emily glanced over at Milo again. He lay beside the crib, his ears perked up and his gaze unwavering. This moment made her reflect on how intuitive animals can be. Milo's unique behaviour made it evident that he could sense her baby's vulnerability. Emily smiled at the thought of forming a little team, her loving hands nurturing the baby, and Milo being an ever-watchful companion. Perhaps this connection was more than simple curiosity. It was a genuine affection blossoming between them all. As she watched Milo and felt the love surrounding her small family, hope bloomed in her heart that they would share many happy moments together as they began this new journey as parents and protector. The nursery was a haven of warmth and tranquility, a place where Emily had poured her heart into creating a cosy environment for her new baby. Soft pastel colours adorned the walls, with gentle shades of mint green and pale yellow blending seamlessly to evoke feelings of calm. The crib, the centrepiece of the room, was draped with a delicate white canopy that fluttered slightly when the breeze from the window drifted in. Emily had chosen decorations carefully, wanting to create a soothing atmosphere. Adorable animal prints hung on the walls, each one filled with friendly faces that seemed to smile down at her baby. A plush rug covered the floor, inviting little feet to explore as they grew. The room was filled with soft light from a small lamp shaped like a moon, casting a gentle glow that made everything feel magical during quiet nights. As she arranged tiny clothes in the dresser and placed stuffed animals on shelves, Emily couldn't help but feel a sense of peace wash over her. She loved how the nursery felt alive with love and hope, the perfect sanctuary for her little one. The lullabies she sang echoed softly in the air, blending with the light sound of Milo's purring as he lounged nearby. Every detail was intentional and meaningful. Even the mobile hanging above the crib spun slowly, showcasing colourful stars and clouds that danced gracefully overhead. It added an element of wonder to the room, capturing both Emily's and Milo's attention whenever it moved. In this serene space, where every corner held joy and dreams for her child's future, Emily felt grateful for each moment spent there. The nursery was more than just a room. It symbolised new beginnings and cherished memories waiting to be created. As she glanced at Milo watching over the crib once more, she realised they were both part of something beautiful, an unconditional bond forming within these cosy walls. As the days went by, Emily noticed a pattern in Milo's behaviour that began to raise her suspicions. It wasn't just that he was watching the crib more often, it was the peculiar incidents that followed. One afternoon, while she was folding laundry in the living room, she heard a soft thump from the nursery. Rushing in, she found Milo had jumped up on the edge of the crib, peering down at her baby with an almost intent gaze. "Hey there, buddy, what are you doing?" she asked playfully, but a knot of worry twisted in her stomach. It seemed odd that he would jump up like that, especially when he had always been so careful around delicate things. Another time, while Emily was preparing a bottle, she glanced into the nursery and spotted Milo swatting lightly at something above the crib. She rushed over, only to find him batting at the mobile that hung overhead. The stars and clouds twirled slowly as if they were dancing just for him. She chuckled at how he seemed fascinated by it, yet the thought lingered in her mind. Was there something more going on? One evening, after a long day, Emily sat quietly in the nursery rocking her baby to sleep. She looked over to see Milo sitting directly next to the crib, with his back arched and tail twitching nervously. He gave soft meows as if trying to communicate something important. Was he trying to alert her to something? Then came a night when Emily awoke to strange noises, a combination of purring and gentle tapping. When she peeked into the nursery, there was Milo again, focused intently on the crib as if engaging with an invisible presence. This series of unusual moments left her feeling uneasy yet curious about what exactly captivated him so completely. Determined to uncover the mystery behind Milo's behaviour, Emily decided she would pay even closer attention to him and what might unfold in their cosy little sanctuary. Emily found herself unable to shake the growing curiosity about Milo's strange behaviour. What was he doing when she wasn't looking? Each time she left the nursery, her imagination began to run wild with possibilities. Was he having secret conversations with the baby? Or perhaps he was playing with invisible friends that only he could see? Determined to uncover the truth, Emily decided to conduct little experiments. She would leave the nursery momentarily and peek back inside to see if Milo's attention shifted as soon as she was out of sight. Each time, she caught him in different positions, sometimes lying lazily next to the crib, other times sitting upright with his ears perked, as if he were listening intently. One afternoon, Emily set up a small video camera in the corner of the room to record any unusual activity. She was eager to watch the footage later and see what Milo did during those moments when she was busy elsewhere. As the days passed, her anticipation grew, and she chuckled at the thought of being a detective in her own home. When she finally reviewed the footage, her heart raced with excitement. The camera captured Milo moving stealthily around the crib, sniffing at the blankets and gently pawing at the soft fabric. He seemed enchanted by something just out of view. Each twitch of his tail and every soft meow made her wonder what else he might be sensing. In those quiet moments, Emily felt a mix of amusement and concern. What could capture Milo's attention so completely? Was he trying to protect her baby or alerting her to something hidden? The more she scrutinized his actions, the more questions arose in her mind. With each passing day, her curiosity deepened further. Emily knew that whatever mystery Milo was wrapped up in, it was only a matter of time before she would uncover it. And as she held her baby close, she felt a sense of adventure brewing in their little sanctuary, a journey waiting to be explored together. One quiet evening, after a long day of feeding and soothing her baby, Emily found herself relaxing in the nursery. The tranquil atmosphere made it easy to let her mind drift while glancing over at the crib. Just then she noticed Milo sitting at the edge of the room, his eyes fixed intensely on the crib. As shadows danced across the walls from the soft lamp, she felt an unsettling chill run down her spine. "Milo," Emily called softly, unsure of what was capturing his attention so completely. The cat didn't react. He remained perfectly still, his body tense as if he were stalking a small creature. Intrigued and slightly anxious, Emily moved closer to see what was captivating him so deeply. Her heart raced as she leaned against the doorframe, trying to make out what lay within the crib's warm confines. Everything appeared calm. Her baby slept peacefully under the delicate canopy. But something about Milo's demeanour filled her with unease. His pupils were wide and his ears were pinned forward as if he were listening for something just beyond her perception. Then came a moment of absolute stillness in the nursery, a silence so deep that all Emily could hear was the rhythmic sound of her baby's breathing. It felt as if time had stopped altogether. Suddenly, without warning, Milo took a cautious step forward, inching closer to the crib with an intensity that seemed almost otherworldly. Emily held her breath, part of her wanting to call him back, but an equally strong urge pushed her to understand what was happening in that moment. Just then, she caught sight of Milo's paw moving tentatively toward the edge of the crib. A flicker of movement caught his eye, a shadow perhaps, and Emily's heart seemed to pound louder in reaction. "Please, be careful," she whispered, half excited and half terrified at what might unfold next. She couldn't shake the feeling that something extraordinary was about to happen, or had already been happening when she wasn't looking. Gulping down her nerves, she braced herself for whatever revelation awaited them in their cosy little sanctuary. Emily held her breath as she watched Milo inch closer to the crib, her heart pounding with anticipation. The room was filled with tension, and every creak of the floorboards seemed to amplify the moment. Just as she thought Milo had reached his limit, she saw it. A slow, deliberate movement of his paw extending toward the edge of the crib. Her eyes widened in shock. "What are you doing, Milo?" she whispered under her breath, not wanting to startle him. In that fleeting instant, time felt suspended as she focused on his delicate movements. It was as if he were reaching out to communicate with whatever held his fascination just beyond her view. Then it happened. Milo's paw made contact with the soft blanket draped over the crib. A slight rustle echoed in the stillness of the room, and Emily's heart raced even faster. She felt a shiver run down her spine, mixing fear with intrigue at what this meant. Was there something he sensed that she couldn't perceive? Emily's instincts kicked in. She stepped forward slowly and cautiously, trying to make sense of this puzzling scene. What would happen next? Would his gentle touch disturb her baby? Her mind raced with possibilities. Perhaps Milo sensed something supernatural or unusual that was hidden from her sight. Just then, a flicker of movement caught her eye as the shadows played across the walls, a tiny hand or perhaps just a trick of light against the fabric of the blanket. She squinted, trying to discern what lay beneath. Each second felt stretched, heavy with expectation. "Milo!" she exclaimed softly, hoping to interrupt whatever strange connection he had formed. But instead of retreating, he fixed his gaze even more intently on the crib and took another cautious step forward. Emily felt torn between wanting to protect her baby and being drawn into this mysterious moment alongside Milo. What had just unfolded was more than a simple interaction. It was a pivotal moment that sparked a whirlwind of emotions within Emily. Fear for her child's safety, but also an insatiable curiosity about what lay hidden beneath their little sanctuary's surface. In the moments following Milo's strange interaction with the crib, a whirlwind of emotions enveloped Emily. Her concern for her child's safety surged to the forefront of her thoughts, battling with her deep curiosity about what drew Milo's attention so magnetically. What could he see or sense that she couldn't? Each question tugged at her mind, and she found herself lost in the myriad possibilities. Was it normal for a cat to exhibit such intense behaviour around an infant? Doubts crept in as she reflected on Milo's personality. He had always been playful and affectionate, but now he seemed almost vigilant. Part of her felt reassured by the notion that Milo could protect her baby, while another part worried that his fascination might lead to unintended consequences. The push and pull of these feelings left her feeling frazzled yet fervently intrigued. Emily's thoughts spiralled into dark territories, imagining unseen dangers lurking within the nursery, or some ethereal connection that only Milo could understand. What if he sensed something about the baby's well-being that she was oblivious to? She hesitated for a moment, trying to discern if she was overthinking things, or if there was indeed something extraordinary at play. Yet, amid the fear and anxiety lay a flicker of excitement. This peculiar relationship between her baby and Milo created a sense of wonder that captivated Emily's heart. Was it possible that they were bound by an invisible thread woven through instincts and intuition? In this cosy little sanctuary, she realized that her family's dynamics were changing in marvelous and uncharted ways. Taking a deep breath, Emily reminded herself to trust both Milo and her instincts as a mother. She approached slowly and knelt down beside him, hoping to bridge the gap of understanding between them. As she caught his eye and reached out a hand for reassurance, she felt a sense of unity forming, a bond not only between herself and Milo, but also one that would protect and nurture their shared journey into motherhood and companionship. Whatever mystery lay ahead would be faced together, with courage and love guiding them all. As Emily continued to reflect on Milo's behaviour, she found herself diving into a sea of possible explanations. What could be motivating his intense fascination with the crib? At times, she wondered if it was merely playfulness. Cats are known for their curious nature, after all, and Milo had always been a spirited little companion. Perhaps he simply found the mobile above the crib intriguing, with its gentle swaying and bright colours capturing his attention like a tempting toy. Yet, as she considered this, another layer of instinctive behaviour surfaced in her mind. Could it be that Milo was reacting to the very essence of the baby? Animals often possess an uncanny sense of awareness, sensing emotions and changes in their environment that humans might overlook. Emily thought back to the countless moments when Milo had been near the crib, listening intently or watching with rapt attention as if he were deciphering an age-old secret. Determined to uncover the truth, Emily decided to observe Milo more closely during different times of the day. She began taking notes on his behaviour, noting when he seemed most captivated by the crib. Was it during quiet moments when the baby was asleep, or did he engage more when Emily was present, as if seeking her approval? Each observation added to her growing understanding of their dynamic. One afternoon, while Milo lounged under a sunbeam, Emily picked up a small toy that resembled a soft mouse, a favourite plaything of his, and placed it near the crib. To her surprise, Milo perked up immediately, his eyes darting between the toy and the crib as if contemplating a game that involved both. This realization filled her with warmth. Perhaps his behaviour was a blend of playfulness and protective instincts, a natural response to a new family member who required care and affection. With each passing day, Emily felt more assured that this bond would only deepen, as they all learned to navigate their shared lives together. She felt hopeful that no matter what unfolded next, They would face it hand in paw, united in love and curiosity. One sunny afternoon, Emily decided it was time to capture Milo's antics on camera. Armed with her smartphone, she carefully positioned herself behind the doorframe, hoping to get a clear shot of him in action as he focused on the crib. She chuckled at the thought of her very important cat detective at work, and her heart raced with excitement. As she stood there, trying to remain as quiet as possible, she watched Milo with keen eyes. He had settled into his usual position near the crib, staring intently at the blankets, and she couldn't help but grin in anticipation. This is it, she thought to herself. I'm finally going to catch him in the act. With her finger poised over the record button, Emily leaned forward slightly to get a better angle. Unfortunately, in her eagerness, she miscalculated her balance and accidentally brushed against a small toy on the floor. The soft thud echoed through the quiet nursery like a clap of thunder. Milo instantly snapped to attention, his wide eyes darting toward the sound. He jumped back with an impressive leap that sent him tumbling backward into a pile of stuffed animals. Emily burst out laughing at the sight of him flailing around in his surprise. The majesty of his graceful leap now transformed into a comical spectacle. "Milo, I didn't mean to scare you," she exclaimed between giggles, but her laughter only seemed to add to his confusion. The cat, now fully alert and slightly bewildered, stared at Emily as if contemplating whether she was friend or foe. Realizing that her plan had completely backfired, Emily wiped away tears of laughter while soothingly calling out to Milo, who gradually regained his composure. With a cautious approach, he peeked around the edge of the crib again, still on high alert for any more potential threats from the mysterious noise. Though Emily hadn't captured the moment she intended, this unexpected encounter brought warmth and laughter into the room. It was a reminder that sharing their little sanctuary with Milo would be filled with surprises, some amusing and some enlightening, as they all navigated this new adventure together in laughter and love. As days turned into weeks, Emily's observations of Milo continued to deepen her understanding of his behaviours. One afternoon, while rocking her baby in the nursery, she caught sight of Milo once more staring intently at the crib. This time, something clicked in her mind. Could it be that he was trying to communicate or interact with something beyond what she could see? Emily leaned in closer, peering over the edge of the crib while keeping one hand on her baby's back. It struck her that perhaps Milo wasn't just watching. He might actually be responding to a presence, or feeling she couldn't quite grasp. There were moments when he would swat playfully at the air above the crib, as if engaged in a game with an unseen friend, and she felt a mix of curiosity and confusion wash over her. "Milo, what are you seeing?" she whispered gently, half hoping for an answer. The notion that her cat could perceive something extraordinary sparked both excitement and trepidation within her. Could he be sensing emotions or energies that were invisible to her? As silly as it might sound, she started to wonder if there was some bond forming between him and the baby that went beyond mere companionship. In an effort to discover more, Emily began inviting Milo to join in on story time. Each day she'd sit with her baby nestled in her arms and read softly while Milo lounged nearby or approached the crib with curiosity. She would watch him closely, observing how his demeanour changed depending on whether they were reading or simply enjoying quiet moments together. One day, while reading a gentle lullaby aloud, Milo suddenly perked up and meowed softly, as if responding to the tone of her voice. Emily's heart swelled with warmth. It was as if he understood the rhythm of their family's new routine. Perhaps he was not just reacting instinctively, but connecting with them in a way that transcended words. In that moment, Emily realized how profound this experience could be, not just for Milo, but for them all. They were embarking on a journey of discovery together, unearthing layers of communication wrapped in love and trust as they built their little family unit one day at a time. Emily's decision to observe Milo more closely opened her eyes to the intricate dynamics of their family life. Each day became an opportunity to deepen her understanding of both her cat and her newborn, as she tried to decipher the bonds forming between them. During story time, as she read aloud with her baby nestled in her arms, she noticed how Milo would approach with a mix of curiosity and affection, his head tilting slightly as if listening intently. One afternoon, she decided to set up a cozy reading nook that included a small cat bed right next to the crib. "This way, Milo can be part of our little routine," she whispered to herself, excited at the thought of including him more fully in their lives. As she settled down with her baby and began to read a classic nursery rhyme, Milo promptly curled up in his new spot, watching them both with wide eyes. To Emily's delight, Milo seemed increasingly engaged during these moments. He would purr softly and occasionally bat at the soft fabric of the blanket draped across the crib when he sensed movement from her baby. This playful interaction brought joy to Emily's heart. It felt as though they were nurturing not only a child, but also an evolving relationship among all three of them. As weeks progressed, Emily started reflecting on how their little family had transformed. She recognized that Milo had not only adapted to the presence of the baby, but had also taken on a role that was deeper than mere curiosity, a role filled with warmth and affection. It became clear that through these daily observances and interactions, they were developing a profound bond founded on trust and understanding. Emily cherished these moments, where she got to witness Milo's caring instincts and playful spirit in real time. This revelation solidified for Emily that their shared experiences were shaping their dynamic in unexpected yet beautiful ways. With each passing day, Emily felt reassured that by observing closely and fostering connections among them all, they would create a loving environment rich in companionship for years to come. She found comfort in knowing that navigating motherhood alongside Milo would lead to countless adventures together, a journey filled with love, laughter, and deepening relationships within their little sanctuary. As Emily reflected on her experiences with Milo and her newborn, she recognized the profound themes of love, protection, and new beginnings that had woven their way through their journey together. Every interaction, from Milo's playful swats at the crib to the tender moments during story time, had reinforced the bond they were forming as a family. Emily realized that Milo had become more than just a pet. He was a gentle guardian who sensed the needs of her baby and offered companionship during those quiet moments. She felt grateful for Milo's instinctive behavior, which brought an added layer of warmth into their home. Each time she saw him curled up next to the crib or attentively watching her baby, she knew that this dynamic was special and filled with the kind of love that transcended words. In these precious days of motherhood, Emily understood that every new challenge was met with laughter, tears, and unexpected joy. The nursery had transformed into a haven not just for her newborn but for all three of them, a space where their hearts could grow together in unison. It was delightful to think about how they would continue to experience new milestones as a family unit. First steps, giggles, and countless adventures waiting just ahead. As she tucked her baby in for a nap one afternoon, Emily looked over at Milo nestled contentedly on his cat bed beside the crib. The two seemed in sync, harmonizing in their roles as protector and nurturer. She felt a surge of gratitude for these small yet significant moments that had brought them all closer. With each passing day filled with discoveries and shared experiences, Emily embraced the new beginnings of motherhood alongside Milo. Their little family was forming beautiful memories imbued with love, trust, and laughter, an unbreakable bond that would flourish in the sanctuary they had created together. She eagerly anticipated all that lay ahead, comforted by the knowledge that they would navigate this journey hand in paw as they welcomed every new chapter with open hearts. As Emily settled into her role as a mother, she couldn't help but marvel at how animals like Milo possess an incredible awareness of their surroundings, especially when it comes to new family members. His instinctive behavior and protective nature had revealed layers of communication that transcended the ordinary bounds of pet ownership. In many ways, Milo had become a silent partner in their journey, guiding Emily through the nuances of motherhood with his keen observations. Reflecting on their shared experiences, Emily realized that pets often sense emotions and energies that humans might overlook. Milo's curious glances and gentle purrs were more than mere reactions. They were indicators of his deep bond with her baby. It was as if he understood the importance of nurturing this new life, offering comfort in ways that Emily had never anticipated. She thought about how animals possess an innate ability to perceive changes in their environment, often responding with instincts that feel almost mystical. The way Milo would sit attentively by the crib or swat playfully at the mobile suggested he was aware of something special, the fragile beauty of a new beginning. Emily felt grateful for these unexpected moments of connection that enriched their lives together. Through every playful interaction and tender moment, Milo had taught her valuable lessons about love and protection. These insights deepened her appreciation for the unique role pets play within families, especially during significant transitions like welcoming a newborn. As she watched Milo curl up next to the crib, she recognized that their experiences were not just about companionship, they were about forming a nurturing environment where love flourished. With each passing day, Emily felt reassured that both she and Milo would continue to support each other as they embraced this adventure together. In the end, it became clear that the bonds formed through love and instinct are powerful. They remind us that family extends beyond human connections, encompassing all those who share in our lives, furry friends included. With Milo by her side, Emily looked forward to many more surprises, knowing that together they would navigate this beautiful journey filled with laughter, learning, and endless love.